Welcome to today's episode on Wisdom for Living. And in case you are seeing it for the first time, this is the first time I'm coming before the camera to share ideas and insights I think is necessary for every young person to have a very effective and productive life. Before now, I've always done this just on audio. I have my podcast, you can check it up on Spotify, Wisdom for Living podcast, where we share insights from experience and from, the most intelligent book in the world. That's scriptures to give insight for young persons trying to make meaning out of their life. And this is the Wisdom for Living podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that I think many young persons are easily slipping into, and it's causing a problem for our generation. It sounds very ironic that I am here also talking as a young person, but I've been able to see, in line with many things happening around us, same thing with my colleagues, across different fields, is that there is a carnage eating deep into the young person system all over the world. And if you are not careful, it's going to limit the expression of the possibilities of the young mind. And today I'm going to be talking about the cause of comfort. You see, we have grown up in an age and time where comfort seems to be what we are aiming at a very young age. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying comfort is a bad thing. There's no price for best in suffering. But there's a kind of comfort that comes and it compromises the level of output that your life and destiny is supposed to give. Bearing in fact that there are a lot of people attached to your destiny, and that's just the truth, in case you believe it or not. We live in a web, or we live in a world where it seems to be like a web, where one person is connected to another, and one person's actualization of their dream is connected to another person's actualization of their dream. Take, for example, Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. And the fact that he has able to climb to the heights he is currently, he has been able to make many people achieve their dreams in different aspects of their lives, or in different areas of their life, in line with his own broad view agenda. As I'm saying, that your life has a lot of deposits in it, so much that the next person, or the next 100 persons, the next 1,000 persons are connected to you. So you can't just decide to be mediocre. You can't decide to end up as a nobody, because you're ending up as a nobody is not just going to affect you, it's going to affect the next 10 persons, the next 100 persons, who knows, the next 1,000, maybe the next tens of thousands. What if he's going to be the next 1 million persons? Just imagine the man who discovered the cure, or who gave us a treatment for malaria. Imagine if he hadn't gone the extra mile, if he had compromised his destiny for comfort at a very early stage. Do you know how many people malaria killed before a cure for malaria was discovered? And do you know how many lives have been saved now that a cure, or let's say a treatment as it were, for malaria has been discovered? Now look at your life in that perspective, and you will know that comfort, as it were, if you introduce comfort at a very early stage, is more of a curse than a blessing. We live in a life where everybody wants a baby girl lifestyle for the guy, for the ladies, and for the guys at 23, 24, you want to drive the best of cars, live in the best of houses. Everybody likes the idea of waking up in a penthouse in front of a beach. I like it too, and I want it. But the truth is that when you make that the center of focus at a very early stage, especially when you are not willing to put in the efforts to get to that point, there's a problem. And when we set out for comfort much more than impact, we are at the word now is not like at the judgment, we are the grasp of what comfort can do to a man that compromises his destiny. And some of the things I'm going to be sharing to you as the bane of comfort, or let's say the cause of comfort. And before we go ahead, let me itemize, or let me elaborate on what I think comfort is in this context. Comfort is that state of sufficiency within oneself. When you think you have gotten to that stage and you be like, this is what I want to achieve and I'm enough at this point. You see, when you get to that stage where you think you don't need to exert yourself any longer, that is the state of comfort. And that state is not where it is good for anybody to be, because it hinders productivity. And saying it hinders productivity lead me straight into what I think is the major effect of comfort. What it does to a man is that it limits growth. Everybody has a timeline from beginning to an end in life. However, moving from point A to point B in whatever field we find ourselves is a constant called growth. The day we begin to despise the idea of growing is the day we begin to embrace the idea of dying. And one of the things that introduces the inhibition of growth is comfort. And I'll give you a very, very a very, very popular example. There's this man in scripture. Jesus gave a parable and said of a man who had his barn full of many things. And he thought about himself and said, my soul, take peace, have comfort. My soul rejoice in these things that your hands have worked in and all of that. And one would say that at the end of your activities, you're supposed to reap the benefit or the fruit of your labor. But the paradox in what Jesus said was that you, this man, you think you've achieved everything you're supposed to achieve, and today your soul will be required of you simply because he has chosen to not exert himself any longer. And that is enough reason for such a person's soul to be demanded of him. Now think about it. Just think about it, that you have exerted yourself to a certain level, and where you think you have done enough, when you actually think you have done enough, and there seems to be evidence that you have done enough, it is enough reason for your soul to be required of you. It means that one thing we must continually embrace through our life and existence, we must embrace growth in our mind, in our spirit, in our body. We must embrace the reality of growth as a continuous process. And also, apart from that, another thing that comfort does, comfort leads to misplaced priorities. You see, there is a passage in scripture that talks about a certain man whose name was Jeshurun. Jeshurun ate, became big, his neck became thick, and he forgot the Lord. When you embrace comfort at the expense of exerting yourself to become something, the end goal is that you misplace your priority. Misplaced priority simply means that you shifted your focus from what is supposed to be to something else. Not exactly meaning that what you shifted your focus to is bad. It doesn't necessarily have to be bad. It just necessarily has to mean it is not what you are supposed to be focusing on at that point in time. So that is what comfort does. When we have brought ourselves to a space where we think we have achieved enough, we don't have to exert ourselves to the next level of our expressions, then we begin to look at other things that really, really, really doesn't matter. And it begins to take our attention. Another problem for a mind that seeks comfort is that they lose the creative edge of their ability. You see, the world is a product of creativity. Think about it. Scientists say we've existed, or the earth has existed as it were over 4 billion years as it were. The effect of what we have now, compared to 4 billion years ago, has simply relied on a tool, which is essentially creativity. If we had decided to take refuge in what we had just immediately when God created the heavens and the earth, at that point in time in the Garden of Eden, we would not have been where we are today. As a matter of fact, in the highest level of intelligence that man had at that point in time in the garden was that when they eventually fell, the best way they could think of covering their nakedness was with leaves. Imagine if in our generation, somebody steps out wearing leaves. Just imagine somebody steps out wearing leaves. You would think the person is mad. I mean, you literally think the person has ran mad. But the difference between 4.5 billion years ago, or 4 billion years ago as it were, to where we are now, is that we have given ourselves to the possibility that comes with creativity. And that is what a comfortable mind deprives itself of. A mind that does not embrace the possibilities of creativity, or does not seek to exert itself in the line of creativity, is a mind that has shut itself out of the next level of the possibilities within it. And I hope that with these few points of mine, we have been able to see that comfort, as it were, is not a bad thing. Trust me, there is no prize, there is no reward for being the most suffering or the most sufferhead person in an environment or within a sphere you find yourself. But comfort, as it were, can pose a danger to a productive mind. It can pose a danger to a mind that has a lot of things attached to it that can transform the world and can turn the world to a better place. And I hope this blesses you. Once whenever you see this video, do well to share with at least 1 or 2 more persons. Tell them that this is Wisdom for Living, and we have transitioned into having our lessons taken down as videos so that it can be easily accessible for people to see and people to enjoy, people to learn from all over the world. I still remain your humble host. My name is Oke Samson Oluwakayode. I'm your partner in making a life worth living. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day ahead of you.